So I got rats roaming around the outdoor kitchen. So this pest repeller with the proper circuits isn't doing its job. So I wanted to know why it's not doing its job. So here I'm checking the power supply of the repeller. What is the power supply driving the 555? So when you're working with this kind of circuit, well, there's a danger or health hazard because it's really tied into the to the 220 mains. There is no transformer isolation nor switching power supplies, so you got to be really careful about these type of circuits. Really, if this thing was being sold in North America, it would be illegal uh, because you have to go through CSA, Canadian Standard Association, or UL for United States, UL listed, UL rating. For Europe, it's CE. So anyway, this is if this thing was bought and shipped to Canada and the seller vendor was found out, they would be fined for selling this kind of unapproved health hazard products. So I'm going to check the power supply. One thing about these two is there's no fuse. It's not fuse. So any type of shorting, this thing would just burn. So the voltage to the 555 is 7.6 volts. I don't think it's enough to drive the piezo or ultrasonic plate. Now I'm going to check the frequency. So I'm measuring the frequency across the plate, and it varies. There's some instability here. So it changes from 8 kilohertz to 14. So there might be some sort of a ramp up, changing the threshold of the 555. So that's why it's changing. Now this isn't what you call ultrasonic. Ultrasonic is beyond 20 kilohertz. So this is subsonic. It's not ultra. In fact, in theory, I should be hearing the tone. So somehow it's not being driven correctly. At 5 kilohertz, I would be hearing some sort of a tone. So it appears that there's a problem with the design. It's not doing its job. I mean, that's why the pests are still around, because it's not at the ultrasonic range. It's unfortunate. So buying this kind of pest repeller, you take your chances. The first one I bought several, empty shell. This one bought double the price. It's not empty shell. There is a circuit, but the circuit is ineffective. It's not being driven at the ultrasonic range. So, and you can't go around buying all of that pest repeller at Lazada. You don't know what you're gonna get. It's like life is a box of chocolate. You don't know what you're gonna get. Forrest Gump. So, pest repellers, you don't know what you're gonna get. Fake ones, this ones that doesn't work. I mean, there's more at Lazada being offered. They go up pretty high. They go up in the thousands sometimes. Some product goes in the thousand. Don't know if they work. This one was less than 100 peso. The fake one was around 40 peso. So quite frankly, if you know how to build one of these, don't buy them at Lazada, build one yourself. So Just thinking building one myself. At least I'll know it'll work. But this one, I don't know. Maybe I'll change the resistor value. I'll draw up the schematic, so if anyone buy one of these and they want to change the something, then they'll have a reference. I'll post it on YouTube, the schematic. So I'll reverse engineer this circuit and post it. Reverse engineering a product is actually trivial. One of the key is knowing the chip, knowing power, ground. So once you know those two, you can actually figure out how this circuit works. So after the bridge, basically through this capacitor, it takes 220 coupled through this capacitor and resistor. This resistor actually limits the amount of current going into the circuit, so that's why it's RC. And then after that, the bridge, and then the bridge rectified whatever left after the RC, and then so it's then smooth out by this capacitor. So this is the ripple then is smoothed out by the capacitor. And from that, knowing this is a 555, you know which pin is ground, which one is power, and then all of this capacitor resistor will tie up, and then it'll give you a free running pulsating DC driving the piezo. Actually, because I don't hear tones, I should actually hear tones. I'm just going to quickly check the resistance of the piezo. Well, the resistance actually can't be measured because it's sort of act like a semiconductor. So I was able to measure something though. It's 50 mega ohm, and the piezo acts like a capacitor. So you can't really measure capacitors. It's just be open circuit. So the thing then to understand is actually drive this piezo up the hearing frequency and see what happens. Does it really work? It's being driven at the hearing range, but at 5 kilohertz you should hear something, but I'm not, so don't think it's working. Regardless, I'm going to start reverse engineering the circuit. So I quickly reverse engineered the circuit board. It was fairly quick. I know how the 555 works, so and how the AC is coupled. Here, like I said, capacitor through resistor is coupled to the bridge, and then of course this side is the 220 volt AC input, and then you got these components RC. So the most interesting part, of course, is how the piezo is driven. Now the energy to the piezo is attenuated by this capacitor. I mean, honestly, the piezo is not going to go to get its full pulsating DC, so it's going to be weak. Now I don't know or understand the reason why they would couple a capacitor there. It's already the piezo is already a capacitor. It has the behavior of a capacitor. So you gotta, to drive sounds out of it, you gotta pulsate it, and to treat it like a speaker. I mean, we're talking mega ohms here, so you don't need another series capacitor to drive the piezo. So I don't get it. It's sort of, not to criticize the designer, but I don't think they copied other designs correctly or understood the other designs. Um, anyway, so I'm going to remove C3 or short it. It would then drive the piezo harder. So I'm gonna see what happens once I short C3. Okay, the reason why they added the capacitance in series with the piezo, it's because of the way they've done the power to the circuit. It actually it load it loaded down the circuit, so it's by driving the piezo directly, the the BCC, this power right there, is reduced. This RC type of circuit, it's not the best. Um, it's just the way it is. It isn't going to work properly. The 680 ohms, actually, is it 680? It shouldn't be 680K. On the circuit it says 680. I just have to recheck. There's something wrong with this with their circuit. So yeah, it's actually 680K in series with a cap. So the circuit is correct. It's just too large. It's not going to power this circuit properly. It's that's probably why they had to add the series capacitor to the piezo. It's make do. I can't believe it. Anyway, buying a pest repeller from Lazada with this kind of circuit, good luck. It's not gonna work. Uh, oh well, I bought it. I probably have to. I'm just have to check, make my own repeller.